Hi, students. This is your overview of week 4. You guys have been working really hard. You should definitely give yourself a pat on the back if you've made it this far in the class. This is really intense to take this class in 5 weeks. So we're at about mile 15 of like a 26-mile marathon, and we just got to keep going. So um, this week is pretty self-explanatory. We're starting our unit on works about the presence of death and suffering. I promise you it's not as depressing as it sounds. So you've got some poems to read and a short story to read and discussion threads about all of those. You're going to have a think aloud due on one of the poems in What the Living Do on Sunday. So look ahead to that and reach out to your partner by Tuesday night and make a plan, because it's always easier if you plan ahead. Don't forget that your 3 library workshops must be completed by this Sunday, July 17th. Next week, we're going to be writing a research paper. So you really want to have those library workshops done. I'll say a little bit more about that at the end of this video. On Wednesday and Thursday, you're going to be responding to my comments on Essay 2. Your graded Essay 2 will be visible by Wednesday at noon. You might not be able to see it before then. You can post a yellow sentence for extra credit. You can do you have an option of doing a revision of Essay 2 if you want. That's due Friday. And then we're moving into What the Living Do. And there are a couple things I want you to do before you start reading that book. One is to listen to this 38-minute radio interview with the poet Marie Howe, who wrote the book. I think it'll really help you kind of understand what she was thinking about when she wrote the book. And I just think it's always really awesome to hear poets talk about their poems. And also in this radio interview, she reads some of them. And I just think it'll really help you connect with the book. And then also, What the Living Do is in part about Marie Howe's brother John dying of AIDS in maybe the late 80s. And so I'd like you to also watch a 16-minute video about the AIDS crisis, because if you don't know much about that, it will help you understand the book, I think. And then you have a quiz on the radio interview and the AIDS video. Then you're going to read the entire book of What the Living Do and pick one of the poems to write a journal entry about. Turn that in on Friday. And then I'd like you to vote on which poems you want to discuss. Since we're reading this whole collection, I want to know, which ones you want to look at more closely with your classmates. So that's a discussion thread. So and you can list 2 or 3. And then I'll try to set up discussion threads for most of them. I probably won't be able to have discussion threads for all of them, but we'll see what happens. And then we're going to start thinking about Essay 3. The written assignment and rubric for Essay 3 is there. I encourage you to also watch the video introduction to Essay 3. One thing students always miss, not always, but there are usually 2 or 3 students every semester who miss that Essay 3 has to be about at least 3 different works we've read. So keep that in mind. If you turn in an essay that's only about 1 poem or 1 story, I'm sending it back ungraded. So make sure you understand that about Essay 3. And then you're going to have a free write due on one of the topics by Friday night. I encourage you to look back at the discussions. You guys have been doing such an amazing job in your discussions, sort of thinking about these poems. So lean on each other, and all those discussions are saved on Canvas. So look back at them if you're feeling stuck, and remind yourself of these discussions because they will help you. You've got the free write due on Friday night. Then on the weekend, you're going to be writing and revising essay 3. There's some do's and don'ts there. There's new stuff in the do's and don'ts for essay 3, things that come up in essay 3. So make sure to go through those pretty carefully to make sure you get some good tips on writing essay 3. There's also a video on explaining the context of quotations. Your essay 3 rough draft is due on Saturday. Your final draft is due on Sunday. I will try on Sunday to give you feedback on your rough draft, either, you're making a mistake, or, oh, you're on the right track. So that you have a little feedback before you turn in the final draft. Also over the weekend, we're going to be discussing what the living do. Those discussion threads won't be posted until noon on Saturday, and they're due Sunday night. You also have a think aloud due on one of the poems from What the Living Do. You and your partner can pick any poem you want in the book, except the poems that you guys wrote your journal entries on. So whatever you decide, you and your partner each decided to write your journal entries on, you got to pick a different poem to do your think aloud on. And I think that's it. The only other thing I want to mention is we're heading into the home stretch here. And the last thing you're doing in this class is writing a research paper. And that is going to be referred to as essay 4. I am hoping to give you some information about it before the weekend. I hate having essay 3 and essay 4 overlap like that. But I don't think there's any way around it. And I know some of you really like to work ahead, and next week is going to be really intense. You're writing a research paper kind of in less than a week because our class ends on Friday. And technically things for the research paper won't start being due until Monday. So keep an eye out for some information about the research paper coming out at the end of the week, like on Friday, maybe Sunday, because you may want to look that over sooner rather than later. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a good week.